And we are live. We are live.
Excellent. I always notice that when I look back on these, not that I look back on myself much because I absolutely hate listening to my own voice, that we've been chatting a little bit, like 15-20 seconds before we actually say we're going live. So,
just in case you get caught.
Just in case you get caught. Welcome to another Dead Hedgehogs YouTube live stream, guys. If you're in the chat, don't be afraid to give us a comment. Get involved. The more people that get involved, the better crack we have. If last week is anything to go by. I'm Stephen Kelly. I'm joined here once again by Chris the Sledgehammer Gavigan. We're going to chat about this, that and the other. I'm going to chat a little bit first about my new challenge, my 5 marathons in 5 days for this year, for September, and then we'll just wander off into other chat.
Amelia, hey yo.
How are things, Amelia? Are you well? Let us know if the sound is good.
And if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe, press the notification bell. That would be sound of E. How are you keeping, man?
I'm doing good.
I'll tell you this much.
What?
This evening was unreal. The lighting was so beautiful.
Outside?
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't put you down for a romantic.
Not just that. It's just like I appreciate the golden hour when it comes around.
Yeah.
And you know, I know that the lighting would have made Swinford look particularly nice tonight.
Yeah.
It had that real glowy 9 o'clock feel, like, you know.
Lovely, but everything looks better. Everything looks better when the sun is on it. There's like the golden hour in the morning. There's a golden hour at night as well, and that's true for filming as well. They call it the golden hour. It's whatever time, whatever hour in the morning, and then whatever hour in the evening. It just means that the light is just perfect. There's no real cast of shadows, and there's a lovely golden hue. So a lot of filming is done on them times, if you could actually get sun in Ireland.
Yeah, tonight is one of the few that you've...
Yeah, there's definitely something. Anyone that says that these are hotter summers or anything like that are talking absolute raumish.
Yeah, but no one's saying that.
But a lot of people are, especially
that's hotter.
Yeah, like last month was meant to be the hottest on record in Ireland since records began. Like, I just don't get it. We can see it. I was talking to a farmer on one of my runs.
It's wetter.
It's definitely wetter.
Way wetter, like.
Way wetter.
That's the whole point. It's not that it's just supposed to be sunny. It's more extreme weather on both ends. We're having way more rain than we would have years ago.
We are, but I mean, it's not extreme either. It's still livable, but the thing is, it's just miserable.
Yeah,
and it's windy all the fucking time in this country.
You might get 1 or 2 good days, and then
it's awful. Like
2 weeks or
people wonder why I do my videos in my car mostly, and the simple reason is it's as simple as this: it's the sound, it's the wind. You can't do videos outside, very rarely.
Plus, you can get away from people that you don't want to talk to.
Well, that's true. They're hard to get away from as well. I delivered some of the best videos I ever did, and just about to, and next thing I get a tap on the window, and I'd be like,
"Can't believe it!" Yeah.
How do you explain that? You can't really explain that to someone that just came up the window. Yeah. Would you ever f off? Oh, they think you're talking.
You could if it was me or Pete.
Yeah.
Would you ever fuck off for 5 minutes?
But that is the crack.
How's your week going?
My week is going great. We will go over the weekend after we talk about the run first. So I decided, Chris, to do... Last year we done the 5 marathons in 5 days from Donegal to Mayo. And
that is true.
For Cancer Fund for Children. And the reason I done 5 marathons in 5 days and not the entire length of the journey was I just don't have time as I did 4 or 5 years ago. There's just so much going on, and 5 marathons is still nothing to be sneezed at.
No, absolutely not.
But I'd love to give it the time. It's not just doing the 5 marathons; it's the recovery after doing ultra marathons. So marathons are just a nice distance for now. My dream is still to do the Wild Atlantic Way, the full length, no matter how long it takes, and do it from start to finish, have it recorded, stop off in local businesses, do it for charity, but also promote the Wild Atlantic Way the west
Yeah.
of Ireland, the whole works. We have the platforms, so why not? As I said before, this was an idea that we pitched to RTE just before COVID, and then COVID happened. So that put
But that could
an
be
end to that.
that could be reviewed
But
again.
it can be, although I'm not getting any younger. So, yeah.
Well,
So-
the fella that owns Man United now, Jim Radcliffe, he did a marathon. He's 75, 78, 4 hours, just over 4 hours. He completed the marathon. So you've got another.
And then he went to the
30
FA Cup
years.
final.
FA Cup final straight after.
I
Yeah,
seen that, and I don't follow soccer much, but I seen that story. Is he the new owner?
yeah. So he owns 27.5%, but he's
Has the
kind of
Jetsons gone?
taken. No, they still have a big portion of Man United, but I suppose the way it works is that there's it's part publicly owned as well. Non-voting shares they're called. So
Okay.
you
So
can
there's no
buy
say.
you can buy shares in Man United, but they're not voting shares,
So you've no say.
so you have no say. But you can
Basically,
buy.
it's just like buying a plot of land on the moon.
Well, no, but if the value of the club goes up, then you'll make more money.
Oh yeah, okay.
You know, so unless the real estate on the moon's going to go up, China
I have a plot
are
of land on the
going.
moon.
Do you?
I do, yeah. It was bought for me as a romantic gesture many, many years ago.
Telling you to go there.
Maybe, maybe. As it happened,
Has it gone up in value?
I would have been as well off if I had gone to the moon. But anyways, so getting back, yeah, so I'm going to run this year from Cork to Cong, Daisy Lodge Cong in the Galway Mayo border, because we're always going to finish in Cong because it's for the Cancer Fund for Children, and Daisy Lodge Cong in Mayo, which I think is a very
They're a great charity.
worthy charity. So anyone that has any ideas of any of the routes between Cork, Kerry, Limerick, Clare, through Galway into Mayo, but the last day kind of does itself. It has to end in Cong, so we just work back 42 kilometres.
Yeah.
But any of the other routes, if you know of any safe routes along the Wild Atlantic Way, Cork is so huge, there's bound to be a marathon distance that's pretty safe. Kerry's the same.
The greenways are really particularly good for that type of stuff.
They are, but are they along the Wild Atlantic Way in that part of the country?
I don't know.
I know the roads. I've travelled the roads between Donegal and Mayo for years, and I know them pretty well. But it's the Cork too. I haven't really ran. I ran in Clare a bit. Clare is a very undersold and underrated county. It's one of my favourite counties in the world. It's one of my favourite counties in Ireland. But yeah, so that is the plan. 5 marathons, 5 days. It's going to be the second to the third week in September. It gives me something to focus on as well. It's
Yeah.
a great charity.
It sure is. Yeah, so just say hi to some of the guys here. WB 1990, 5x5.
5 is 30 no matter what way you make it up.
100%. Liam Murphy's in the chat,
How are things,
as usual. Liam,
Are
you
you
legend.
well? How's
Hope-
all in Birmingham? When you coming back to Westport?
He reckons it's absolute bollocks. Someone needs to poke another hole in the ozone layer. It is fucking
Apparently,
bollocks.
the ozone layer is healing itself up again.
Yeah. Who
So-
would have thought that?
And as I said, it's a cycle that we go through every few hundred years. It's just the same thing. It's just, in my opinion, I do a sketch on global warming and climate change at the live shows. I'm not going to disclose the punchlines to it, but it's a load of wank as far as I'm concerned. Now, that's not to be said you can't go around polluting. Like, polluting is different. Or getting rid of rubbish and fly tipping and that. I mean, respect Mother Nature all the same. But it shouldn't mean we have to pay 3 times the amount of everything.
Yeah, well, look, there's a bit. There's at the end of the day, they're getting the way that they're going about it is just infiltrating us with taxes and trying to squeeze you for as much money as possible, and then trying to point the finger when they're corporate. Like the majority of
Crazy stuff.
pollution is caused by a handful of corporations.
Yeah.
And they get off scot-free.
Scot-free.
So it's like, and then they want to lynch you for not recycling your cardboard
I know.
or something like that. So
It is just another It's just mental. The whole thing it's just an excuse for more stealth taxes and whatnot. Like this for fun thing with the recycling bottles and shit like that.
Well, it's just a way of throwing a bit.
It's another stealth tax, and it may be on the upturn for a while, but eventually people will get sick of carrying big bottles and things in and go back.
Well, one thing's for sure. This isn't a new idea.
No,
they were doing years. I remember being in Sweden 12 or 15 years ago, and those bottle banks were there.
Oh yeah, they're in America. Like, well, I mean, people go around the homeless people, and not even homeless people. There's if you're at it all day long, you'll make a few pound.
Yeah,
go around and collect bottles and aluminium and stuff like that to be recycled every day. So in one way, it's great. It's like having a free waste outfit or waste disposal outfit.
Yeah,
walking around. Sure. And I understand that needs to be done, but I also understand that Irish people are recycling as good as they won't change.
Yeah,
they will keep recycling the way they've always recycled.
Then when you see the way some countries,
and eventually they'll just get sick of going back for 15 cents.
There was no money being made out of recycling and reusing the products in America. So what they started doing was just shipping all their recycling to the Philippines.
Yeah,
and so they were just they were just dumping it.
Yeah, exactly. They're dumping it into the fucking sea.
Yeah,
may I add? Plus the amount of diesel that would have taken to carry that.
Waste of time.
It's just a constant cycle of just returning money. It's just just making money.
Liam Murphy goes, I will take it seriously when politicians do not use private jets and 10 cars.
Exactly, Liam. I mean, they pontificate, especially the likes of Eamon Ryan, and
he's
pontificate about all these green ideologies, and next thing they'll head off to Timbuktu, or it makes nonsense. I made a funny joke that I have planned for a video on Eamon Ryan, but one of the punchlines is Eamon Ryan is the type of lad that leaves comments on Pornhub videos.
And he probably is,
and he probably does,
because they'd be dumping.
Gets off in the old terms and conditions. But looking up,
maybe that's why his kink is. He sees someone dumping on someone's chest,
or Roscommon MILFs over 40. So that's the plan for the getting back to the run. Anyway, I don't know how I got sidetracked on that.
Talk about Pornhub.
Yeah. So that's why I do it is just, there's a load of reasons I do it. I love running. It keeps me in check. It keeps me mentally stable. It gives me something to focus on. I'm not going to say it'll completely keep me out of the pub, but it'll definitely help a lot.
True.
And then the second reason, and the most important reason, is I want to give something back, and no better charity to give it back to than Cancer Fund for Children. Yeah,
there's nothing better than helping out the Cancer Fund for Children. So
yeah, or indeed any charity, but that's my
obviously one. With these runs and bits and pieces, we do usually have a lot of fun. Jack Walsh,
a lot of fun.
Jack Walsh just jumps in the
the
chat. He's but it was a great help on last year's run.
He was, and I hope he's good help again this year. Yeah, it's an unbelievable thing. I had some point to make there. Oh yeah, plus as well, it is great crack. I enjoyed, and I think people get invested in it and involved in it for the full week. We give full coverage. We try and make out what we're doing all the time. If we've signal, especially along the Wide Atlantic Way, is bad signal, but when we get it, we upload, and it's a bit of crack, and everyone gets involved. So I'm really looking forward to it again this year, and I have a couple of things up my sleeve for this year that'll make it a little bit easier for us, and content-wise, it'll get more like flow to it.
Yeah, I remember when the first year we did it. And you did from Beaumont Hospital to Swinford.
Yeah.
And that was over 3 days. That was torturous.
But we were doing ultramarathons then. And
then we were also the whole dynamic around the crew was that obviously you were leading the charge, but there was you were producing so much content, it was ridiculous. Oh, yeah. You weren't concentrating on the job that you had involved. And this is all a learning curve.
That was the first time. Like that night we landed up to Dublin running at 6 o'clock in the morning because we had to meet the Irish Independent outside Beaumont. and we didn't get up to Dublin. Like, we'd done it all wrong until like 1 or half 1 in the morning.
Yeah,
I think Ollie got lost at some point along the way. He didn't get in until 2 or half 2 or 3 o'clock.
Yeah. But he turned up later on the day on the Tuesday.
Yeah.
I was there in the morning first thing.
Yeah.
Because I got the bus up. I drove your car down for the 3 days.
Oh, was that how it went?
That's exactly how it went. And I had...
Well, we learned a lot, because I learned that I shouldn't be so stubborn when it comes to these type of things. Like, my idea was that we were going to cover every stone on the road. And as I said this many times, I ended up doing 13 kilometers extra because I wouldn't get in a car to cross the motorway. If I had my time back again, I would have gotten the car.
Yeah.
Because it made us very, very late for getting in.
That first day was so hard.
92 kilometers.
Yeah, and the other thing was that there was no one command. Say, obviously, apart from yourself, right? There was no one commanding voice. I suppose I probably should have taken more control. It was like, you guys go to the hotel, and just left it with me, you, and Peter, and then it would be like, jump in the car, let's go to the top of this hill, because it was getting so dark. It was quite dangerous.
Yeah,
and it was like, no nonsense. Just
So
you almost need someone that's out taking the health and safety of you, because you're going to keep on going. Keep on pushing yourself.
Yeah. So I did definitely learned a lot that day, and not to be so stoic about a couple of 100 meters. Like, no one's going to say, "Oh my God, you ran 92k, but you got into the car. I seen you getting into the car there." No.
Yeah, exactly.
So
it's
that was in my own head.
But you wanted to be honest with it as well, and that's commendable. Like,
then, you know, on the second one, that was great. The Mayo Coast route was definitely, I think, my favorite one.
Yeah. By far my favorite one.
Yeah.
One thing, Angelina Nugent, who helped with the organization, was unbelievable.
Yeah.
So absolute godsend. She got so much sorted for us,
and it was so local.
Yes,
it felt local.
Yeah,
and it was local. But then again, you're down in the back end of Belmullet. I mean, it's probably quicker to get to Dublin.
Yeah,
but it felt so local. There was old people coming out, probably never went on social media in their lives, and it was like they knew what was happening.
They could see you coming from up the road. And this
was all over the place.
Yeah, I'd be parking up in driveways up ahead or whatever. They'd come out to have a look. I was like, just 2 lads. They're running for the hospice, and straight
away. As soon as you mentioned that was for the Mayo Roscommon Hospice. Like, as soon as you mentioned the hospice,
they were all over
it.
In, they'd get some cash, throw in a bucket. It was amazing. Yeah. And Joy, you'd have great crack. And they were like, "Oh, where are they running from?" And they were like, "From Leenan." They were like, "What?"
Yeah, that was brilliant, and we'd lovely weather as well. The last couple of days we'd lovely weather as well.
Sometimes we forget the distance on that was colossal. 357 kilometers.
That was the most. That was the most we've done. Even though Dublin to Mayo sounds further, it's not.
Oh, the Mayo coast is
huge.
Way longer.
Yeah, way longer.
But we did it way better.
Way better. Yeah, we learned so much from that, and then of course when we done the Donegal to Mayo one, or to the Cong one, that was again so well organised, because we knew what to ask for, and Mary and Jack organised that as well, so that was all good. So really looking forward to working alongside Cancer Fund for Children again in September. There's no link up at the minute, but it will be up very, very soon. I don't want to be like, for the next 3 months or 4 months, keep ramming it down people's throats. I'll mention it every so often, and then obviously ramp it up closer to the time. I think if you're keep mentioning it all the time, people get sick of the same thing. So even if it is a charity, but anyway, so that's the run. That's the early stages of this year's run. Cork to Cong. It has a bit of a ring to it.
Cork to Cong is good, yeah.
Yeah, Cork to Cong. So that is that. What else have we?
Well, the title of this video was
about
the elections.
Oh yes, but before we get into the elections, I just want to mention the live shows again.
Yeah.
I get Nancy when I'm not doing live shows. I've just in my head the last couple of weeks because I haven't done a show in 2 weeks, and 2 weeks is probably enough time. Now I have to wait another 2 weeks for the next live show in Galway, but I know it's going to be worth it. 29th of June, tickets are almost gone. It would be lovely to get it sold out before the date. It's a big room. We have 2 big lugs. We have Pete. We have yourself. We also have, just not even announced yet, but I'm going to announce it here. We have a local musician and singer going to be with us on the night as well. Dawn of Music. Go check him out. He's absolutely fantastic. He's going to be joining us for a few songs at the end of the show. Plus, he may even play a few tunes in McNeil's in the after party. So if you haven't grabbed your ticket for that, and if you're around Galway on the 29th of June, grab your ticket and we'll see you there. After that, June is looking like we're in Wicklow on the 5th, Offaly on the 13th. I'm doing a Hardy Bucks quiz night in Dublin. I didn't tell you about that.
No, you didn't.
But come along. I think it's in the George Berners show. It's something different. I'm just going to be hosting it, and I'm going to be auctioning off something, or just, I don't know what I'm doing actually, but it's going to be like that.
Bernard Shaw's in where the old porthouse on the north side is, though.
Yeah.
So they had the Bernard Shaw is a great pub.
Yeah, I think it's the Bernard Shaw. I think that's where they said it was. So don't quote me on that. Check out the link first.
Darren Boy says must try and make the Galway show. Make it, man.
Make
it's
it.
The
make it,
29th of June.
Crack.
It'll be good fun. We're gonna have a good laugh.
Yeah.
Guaranteed.
Galway's like a home. It's like a home show.
Yeah.
So we always
easier sold than something in Mayo.
Oh yeah, 100%. But then again, there's an awful lot of Mayo people up in Galway too.
Well, there's that as well.
So that is that. So the George Berners show one is the 17th of July. Then I have the massive show with Garen Noon in Dunlow as part of the Dunlow Festival. I'm pretty sure the Dunlow Festival is the same one as the Mary from Dunlow Festival.
Probably is, yeah.
I think so, but I'm going to call it the Dunlow Festival in case that's wrong. That's in the Bridge Inn, and that holds about 600-700 people. So really looking forward to that one. And then I am at the minute planning our shows for August. We really need to start pushing shows earlier than we are. We're leaving it very late, and it's something that we need to learn from and start booking gigs further out in advance. So there's more of a run.
More of an opportunity.
Exactly, and give ourselves enough time to push shows, because doing the shows is 100%, but the hardest part of doing the show is the promoting.
Ethan Croak is in the chat.
Ethan Croak.
Oh, the lovely Ethan.
Oh, with the lovely facing on him.
Wee Ethan.
What is the crack, Ethan? Hope you're
the
well.
Mary from
Dunlow Festival. It is the Mary
Festival.
from Dunlow Festival. Well, there you go.
She must have been a cracker.
She must have been.
Tell us, Ethan.
Tell us.
She
Ethan,
a cracker?
Did you ever...
Would you crack her?
I'm not going to finish that sentence. Kent Walcott is in
our
the
boy
chat.
Kent.
My friend from the States. Lads, what's the crack? Been way too long since listening to you both look grand. Thank you very much, Kent.
Cheers, man.
It's been too long. It's been too long since we've had chats. We really need to get back out to the States. I thought I might be heading out to Chicago in August, but it's just not going to work. It ain't going to work because my August book is filling up very, very fast. How are things, Oisin Boyd? Are you well? We're doing good.
We're doing good, yeah.
That's it. The more people that are getting involved in the chat, it gives me heart.
Ooh.
And
look, he's got a bit of a semi there.
Yeah, I didn't think you'd notice. But yeah, thanks you very much for getting in with the chats. Now, we finished with the live shows. Where will we go next? We'll start talking about the elections.
Yeah, we'll...
where are we in the elections? Well, I know one thing where we are is it definitely is the same but different.
Yeah, like, look, it's at the end of the day, this was always a very possible outcome.
Are people in Ireland content? Maybe we are content.
Maybe.
Maybe you're just a loud bunch of us that see something maybe coming down the line. I would like to include myself in that, and also want better for Ireland. Even when it's good, we want better for Ireland because we love the country so much. Like, there always has to be an opposition.
Yeah.
You know, and it has to be like a conscientious and balanced opposition. I mean, I know that there's a job to be done with politics. I'm not stupid. I know someone has to do it, and I know that every decision is not going to be a correct one for everyone. But when I see things that I think are not good for the country, I like to speak up. And I think I would be doing a disservice and being disingenuous if I didn't at this stage. That's my opinion.
Yeah, I like
at the minute there is no real opposition to the government. Sinn Féin are just rolled in behind.
Do you know what the funny
they paid the price for it?
But do you know what this election is exactly what there was a part of me that really expected this to go this way, because Fine Gael and Fianna Fáil have consolidated support. They don't have like wishy-washy, I might vote for the independent party over Sinn Féin. They've got year in, year out Fine Gael members. They're
indoctrined.
Yeah, Fianna Fáil. They vote Fianna Fáil. They vote Fine Gael, and that's what they do. So how do you get change in this country when that is a big portion of where we're going?
I thought we were further along down the line, but clearly we're not. Now, in saying that, the general election and the local elections are two
very different. Yeah,
beasts.
Local elections. See, what you'll do is
once you get in and you fix a few potholes, you're pretty much in for as long as you want.
There's a big thing about that where your power base is in local, like Fianna Fáil, Fine Gael, Sinn Féin, Ain to whoever, independent. They'll all work together anyway.
Yeah.
Just because the common good, they all know each other. They're all local to Swinford. They're local to Castlebar or Fahy down in Offaly or wherever. That's their only main. As long as they're doing something locally,
yeah,
everyone's happy.
Look, a perfect example is look at the Healy Rays in Kerry. They're a dynasty.
Yeah,
like there's no point in even running against them.
But because they look after Kerry first.
They do, and they do a great job on it. And also they look after themselves.
They very much look after themselves.
As well. But listen, as long as the people in Kerry, they're serving the people of Kerry, that's the main thing.
The first count from the European elections for Midlands Northwest. Is that Midlands Northwest? I think that's what they
Midlands
called
Northwest,
it. Yeah. Luke Ming Flanagan was, and Barry Cowan were quite strong in that.
So
look at Fine Gael. Nina Carberry's
How many
very
seats do we have in Europe?
So there's 5 seats out of this constituency.
Okay.
So
Nina Carberry done very well.
Unbelievably well.
Nina Carberry being a first-time politician or candidate, but also an unbelievable jockey in her day.
Like, you compared to Lisa... sounded...
No, I mean a proper like horse racing jockey.
She was unbelievable.
She Paul Carberry's sister?
Yeah.
Paul Carberry, one of the best jump jockeys Ireland ever produced, and we've produced some brilliant ones.
Maria Walsh looks like she's in a strong position there as well from that. Independent Ireland's Kieran Malooly has done pretty well. Lisa Chambers and Niall Blaney are miles behind Barry Cowan.
Yeah.
Half the vote. Niall Blaney has less than half the votes that Barry Cowan picked up. Again,
so what is it looking like? Who's on top? Luke McFadden.
So Luke Ming will,
independent, Fianna Fáil, Fine Gael, and
so the Fine Gael were definitely going to get one, if not 2 seats in this constituency anyway, and Fianna Fáil will probably consolidate around Barry Cowan because by the time a lot of these candidates at the bottom here, so. Yeah, there's been 3 candidates that have gone. Jerry Waters, all of these candidates. Michelle Smith, she got 6,700 first preference votes. A lot of these will be eliminated. Possibly.
Saoirse McHugh?
Yeah, so they'll be in for that last seat, possibly. Saoirse McHugh might be in there. Peter Casey, Niall Blaney... Paddy Tobin has done pretty well in fairness.
So, In reality, I mean, nothing has changed. Nothing has changed in Europe.
Yeah, like nothing has. I think it might change in the other constituencies. Let's have a look. Sure, we can. While we're here, we might as well.
Might as well. It'll give us context for what we're going to chat about, and basically how it's awful hard to change anything in Ireland.
Southern constituency. So Sean Kelly is already elected.
He was the first.
Yeah. So he got past the quota on the first.
He was he
122,000. So Sean Kelly was an MEP.
MEP.
He was also the president of the GA back in the.
Well, that'll help.
Yeah, like he's from Kerry. He's kind of consolidated. So he's just an
incumbent MEP.
Yeah.
See, as I'm saying, and it's the same with the local elections. Once you get in, it's a bit different with the general election. Once you get in as a local councillor, unless you completely fuck up and drop the ball, you're pretty much in as for as long as you want.
Yeah, if you like, there's
especially if you're
incumbency is one of these things where it's very hard to shift you unless you fuck up.
Yeah, and it's the same with Europe.
Billy Keller will pick up that second place after Sean Kelly.
Yeah.
And then there's a lot of there's one,
Mick
2,
Wallace,
3.
How many seats are going for here?
So there's four that's going to come.
Mick Wallace might get it.
Michael McNamara is strong. He might get. It depends where the transfers come from. So the independents might go to when these are eliminated. That might give them enough to say they might go to Michael McNamara. So hard.
It's a strange system in Ireland as well. I don't know if it's nothing like America. The idea is you have all the list of people that are running. There could be 100 people running.
Yeah.
And then you can give one first, second, third, fourth, fifth. You list down in numbers, or you can just give 1 or 2 or 3.
Yeah. So there's a first past the post system in America and the UK. This is more.
So how it works is if someone gets in on first preference votes, their surplus
is redistributed.
Redistributed. So, but what is the surplus? Every other vote that's counted after that.
Yeah, and I think is eliminated vote.
I know eliminated votes are so it's very complicated.
Yeah, so
I mean, if you're eliminated, meaning that there's no possible way you could. They'll figure it out mathematically. Yeah. There's no possible way you could reach the quota.
Your votes
get redistributed. So if you were voted number 1, then the second person is as good as a number 1.
Yeah.
And vice versa all the way down.
But it gives a better representative democracy.
Yeah.
Because
so I know there's arguments for it and there's arguments against
it. Well, I'd much rather than the first past the post system.
Okay.
One elected candidate per constituency or for those first past the post systems can lead to look at Britain. There's Tory constituencies that have never changed hands.
Yeah,
they're a stronghold. That's what they are.
There are people that have got more first preference votes than anyone else in the constituency. And still not got in because of transfers.
Because the transfers, transfer system,
where they didn't pick up transfers from anyone else. They had their followers, and that was that. And I'm pretty sure that happened for Gavin.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah, he got more more. I might be corrected on that, but he got more first preference votes and still ended up not being elected.
So this is the Dublin constituency. So there's 3 constituencies in Europe. There's Dublin, Midlands, Northwest, and the South, and there's 4 seats here. So
that's tighter.
That's much tighter.
The top
now,
2,
they're fighting out for first and second place. They're quite a long way ahead.
Yeah,
of the rest.
Niall Boylan. I was expecting Niall Boylan to poll better. To be quite honest,
I didn't.
No,
so. No.
Well, but again, it's Fianna Gael, Fianna Fáil, and go down.
So
Fianna Fáil.
Yeah,
again, and also you'll notice a lot of names that are. I'm not going to say nepotism, but they're family names of politicians that have been around Dublin, and that seems to happen more in Dublin. An awful lot of sons or daughters of politicians
try and pick up the seats.
Yeah,
what you'll see in here, which you might see Lynn Boylan or Aidan O'Riordan pick up. Say if Breach Smith is eliminated, there's not, or Sinead Gibney. Once these two are eliminated, and possibly Claire Daly.
There's no. Oh, there is
Kieran Cuff, yeah. But like,
hopefully, like it's not that I've anything against these people. The green thing it just baffles my mind. Yeah. And I was chatting to someone at one of the shows in Cavan. I'm not going to mention the lady's name, but she works for the Green Party, and she said the Green Party mightn't be too bad if Eamon Ryan wasn't in it.
Yeah,
like he's there. They don't know how he's there.
That's why Saoirse McHugh left.
Yeah, I know that. Yeah.
Clear as day.
Yeah,
but once you see that
which we had a podcast with Saoirse McHugh. It's one of the first ones we did, so go back and check it out. It's a brilliant podcast.
Yeah, Dahi Doolan is his excluded. So his votes being redistributed, and then you've obviously Aisling is from Main 2, and then you see there's 3 or 4 that are left-leaning politicians, and once they start getting eliminated, you could see them going to Lynn Boylan or Aidan O'Riordan. You'd imagine that one of these is going to pick up a big transfer out of those. Yeah. Or Claire Daly. Say Breach Smith and Claire Daly, you'd think
Claire Daly is not going to make it in.
She might get that 4th seat. Like, it's hard to pick a 4th.
She's actually a great speaker.
Great speaker. Brilliant.
Great speaker. So,
but again,
the fact that she can't make tracks into Europe, it just shows you that people have sort of swang back to Fine Gael and Fianna Fáil, and I think that's a lot to do with the fact that Sinn Féin completely dropped the ball. I mean, completely dropped the ball. Check the comments there to see if we've any comments, and maybe the independents are they done well. I thought they would have done better, and maybe it's the fact that...
What did you think they do better? I think they've really outperformed.
I thought they do better, yeah. I thought they do better. I thought that after the Mother referendum, I thought this is the time to sort of put a dent, or at least get Fine Gael and Fianna Fáil thinking.
But like the problem is that there's like so Sinn Féin has been seen as lumped in with Fine Gael and Fianna Fáil, and they were the only contender to taking them out. They are the only contender. You can have all the independents in the world, but they can't form a government if they're only fighting for themselves.
Yeah, well, this is true. Well, that's why there's these parties being set up now, independent. Kind of. Well, you're not independent if you're in a party.
It's not like.
But
no, I think
all independent. They all stem from independent.
But it's still under the whip system, so they still have to vote along party lines to get anything through. That. So it's like I Sinn Féin, and I know that they've kind of flip flopped on a lot, and they've gone a little bit softer on some of these projects, on say the migration stuff or whatever. They're not as hard line on stuff like that, but they're getting decimated, and they're not in power.
Yeah,
it's bizarre.
Yeah,
they've been taken out of this by like their swing of power that they've had for a while, and their boost in the polls has been taken out by someone that had no ideological. They like Sinn Féin are kind of centre left, kind of left leaning. They want to obviously change the way that
they
the
massively
works.
leant left over the last couple of years.
Yeah, I don't know if they've massively.
And if anything, they reckon that Fine Gael is going to swing a little bit more to the right.
Yeah, of course they will.
Yeah, which mightn't be a bad thing for the country. And I'm not a right winged. I am right of centre. But even the likes of the posters of Simon Harris now, there's an Irish flag behind them, that sort of thing.
Yeah,
but that's what Sinn Féin should have been doing.
But like, that's fine. Like, but to be honest, the kind of right winger support that they did pick up has gone to more very heavy right wing, like far right groups have emerged in Ireland, which Ireland never had far right groups before.
Yeah, well, you know, I really don't. I believe the far right are a big minority, are a minority in Ireland. I just think that they've been brushed. A lot of people have been brushed.
But
with far right,
people are being
want
swayed.
right by Ireland, you know.
Well, people are being swayed by this fucking wave of nationalism and nativism, and this "not in my backyard" type of politics, and that's easily that's an easy trope to put on people. Yeah, because no one wants to see potential trouble.
I kind of like everyone to look after their own is one of my policies, and if everyone looked after their own corner, it would be a better country. And then nationally, we look after each other as well. There are big issues, especially around immigration.
But I think we've
covered them on this 1,000 times.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest issues we have in this country, and people are seeing, is that we're classed as a super rich, super wealthy country, and people aren't seeing the benefits of it. People aren't feeling that they're getting as much. They're not as wealthy as they're being portrayed to be.
Who is?
Just people in general.
Yeah, but I read something, and I watched something the other day that said that Ireland is the second richest country in the world if you take GDP.
But that's the way we calculate GDP. Yeah. But that's including all of the European headquarters for the likes of Google and Apple and Amazon.
Yeah.
So we calculate our GDP a bit different, which is the way of writing off tax for the major corporations.
Yeah, but another issue is that Ireland, we give out about Ireland, but as I said, I give out about Ireland because I want the best for Ireland. Ireland is still a great country. I mean, it's still a great country to live in. For young people, I can see why they'd head off to Australia and that for a better life, but it might be no better. Like, as the old saying goes, far away fields are greener. They might not always be greener. You know, you have to find your balance in this country too. But yeah, it is still a great country. One thing, it can be even a better country.
One thing I was reading up on during the week there was about how centralized Ireland's government is compared to other countries in Europe. Ireland is the second least decentralized state in the European Union after Greece. So that means like we're just after electing a load of local politicians that are going to do fuck all.
Yeah.
Because they have no power to do anything. Even the zoning land for development can't do anything, has to go to Dublin.
Yeah.
So the councils...
And the idea was, there was a massive push in about... It was in the middle of the boom.
Yeah.
It was around the early 2000s.
To try and decentralise.
Dublin. There was all these buildings were going to be made, and they were going hawking out all the minister for housing was going to be in Athlone. The ministry for health was going to be in fucking God knows where.
And they didn't do anything.
And they've done nothing.
No.
We plastered buildings in Langford. We plastered buildings in Athlone. We plastered buildings in Galway that were all meant to be government buildings that were going to decentralise from Dublin. None of it happened. And that's one of our major problems, because if you gave Mayo County Council more power to make obvious decisions on housing and, you know, local employment issues and stuff like that, then your vote in this local election is way more valuable. Mm-hmm. And you feel like you have more control over the democracy locally. True. And you're more likely to have someone go as long as you've responsive local councillors.
But like, it starts with actually having power to be able to wield.
And if anyone ever has an argument about, I'm not going to bother voting, every vote counts. Every single one of them. And a perfect example is
Swinford.
At the minute, there's two people going for the last seat. There's one vote one single vote in
between the two of them.
That's after 2 counts.
And
It's
there
gone
was-
for a third recount.
And the fellow that came in third was only 5 votes ahead.
Yeah. So every vote counts. Never think that it doesn't. So if you don't go out and vote, in my opinion, you don't really have a voice to complain when it doesn't go your way.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that.
Well, but that's like complaining after the fact.
Yeah.
Now, and if you look at the turnout, I think the turnout is like 49% or 50%.
I think 50%.
Like that means half the people in this country that could have voted didn't bother voting, and then most people are complaining that Fine Gael and Fianna Fáil.
Yeah, and people will say that Fine Gael and Fianna Fáil bought the votes by bringing the Lithuanians and the migrants. Even if they did, which I'm sure there was a lot of that in it, and registering them to vote when it's never happened before. Some say it might be even illegal. Even if they did, we should have had the numbers. If from what you hear on social media and you hear around the country about complaining about we need change and we need this, that and the other, even if that was the case and they bust people off to vote,
yeah, it's like
surely to fuck we had enough people.
Surely 20 people that didn't vote.
Yeah.
Like it's a strange one because obviously.
So I can see why there's frustration on the independent side and that side as well. The likes of Morris as well. I'd love to actually get Morris.
Yeah, but like at the same time, you have to accept that you can't start going that there's election interference and these people were busting and they were stealing votes and all this type of stuff. Delegitimizing the vote because you don't like the result, but you're celebrating the votes when it's your guy that gets in.
Yeah,
it's pure nonsense. Like
yeah. Well, it's not nonsense.
Well, it's hypocrisy.
It's disingenuous.
Yeah. It's hypocrisy.
TJWK Ireland. It's not all bad. One of the National Party got voted in. Who was that?
The National Party. Okay.
Either way, it doesn't matter.
But like they were supposed to come in very strong. National Party.
Yeah. Well, that's another thing. Like
so they obviously don't have that much support.
One swallow never made a summer.
Like you got to say the Independent Ireland and the National Party and all of these kind of newer fringe groups or whatever that have come into the political arena the last year or so, they've done all right considering they're new parties, but they haven't picked up that many seats really.
Yeah, but listen, from
Kieran Malooly might come through
from Acorns. Grow great oaks, so hopefully, like at the end of the day, the government need an opposition. Like to make it a viable government, you need opposition. If you're getting away with doing everything the way you wanted to do without anyone questioning you, well, that is just dictatorship in a government form.
Look at, but what Simon Harris is going to say, that this is a mandate for the government.
Oh, I know, well,
and all this bullshit, and that they're going to fix the problems. They haven't
he'll be
had
on
10
this
years
lollipop for a very long time.
They go like, what have you been doing the last 10 or 15 years to fix the problem? Nothing.
Yeah.
So
like making it worse. One of the National Party guys actually managed to get in. It's good to have far right, but also far left. Gives a balance to things and might give a government a kick up the arse. Well, just after what I'm saying, I mean, we need a balance from all sides, and then it's up to you what side you choose to admire and follow. Ethan Croke, Stephen Kelly and Paddy Houlihan should start a political party. I'd love to link up with Paddy. I think he's a good man. I do, and I think he has the right heart as well in what he does, and I think he's doing it from a very genuine place. We need Darren Boyle. I like Kieran Malooly. Where's Kieran Malooly?
He's in Dublin, isn't he? Kieran Malooly.
Has he a chance of getting in?
Is it, or is South?
TJWK Ireland.
I think he does have a chance of getting in.
We need a lot more far right to buy. Well, we shouldn't need far right. The thing is, we shouldn't need any.
But like far right or far left, like
we shouldn't need to be. We should be content. It's a small island with a big shout and a great history. There shouldn't be any need for far left or far right. Controlled opposition, 100%, Sean. Sinn Féin are controlled opposition, and there's a lot of controlled opposition. Handed the election to Fianna Fáil, Fine Gael, no change, so the charade continues.
So
Correct, Sean.
Ciarán Malooly is in Midlands Northwest. He's got a good chance of getting in.
Is that the Europeans?
Yeah. So he's in with the shows.
How many did you say? 4 or 5?
There's five seats there.
One. So where is that?
It depends where the transfers come from,
Okay.
though. He like
There's 2 or 3
you'd
there,
imagine
so
like
it
you'd like if you look at these parties down here, like say the national parties, the IP, some of the independents, they'll probably go to him. Peadar Tóibín, if he's eliminated, he'd be strong transfers for Ciarán Malooly.
Peadar Tóibín, he wasn't always into, was he?
He was Sinn Féin.
Yeah, Sinn Féin. I knew well he was. He doesn't have he's not the fellow with the lisp.
Did he have a cleft palate?
Or cleft palate. Same thing. Sophie, what was the proportion of the population who voted? Only 49.9 to 50%, Sophie. That's all the people that voted. So that's what I'm saying. If you're not going to go out and vote, you can't really then complain after the fact. You know? But TJ says, Glenmore IFP elected got voted in, yes. Where was that?
That was in
TJ?
Dublin, wasn't
it? Was it Dublin? Yeah. Rachel says, great live stream as usual, lads. Thank you very much.
Cheers, Rachel.
Liam said, do you think Sinn Féin will be affected in the North election?
No, I don't think so.
I don't think so. I think they're in a very strong position. When is the election?
But again, with them, it's first past the post.
Yeah.
Up in the north, and so these are very divided, one or the other.
Yeah.
You like obviously there's more middle ground parties now. You know, like
plus Sinn Féin are doing good things up in the north.
Yeah.
You know, so you wouldn't go against the grain some people would, but you wouldn't go against the grain if things are working. Don't fix something that's not broken. Sean says again, Fine Gael would go left, right, up or down to get a vote and fleece the country. They do anything for the vote. I completely
that's exactly what it is,
Sean.
though. Yeah, 100%.
It's like
it's what suits them on the day that they're talking to you.
Yeah, it's like a young fella out for the ride. Like he'll tell you. Well, he won't tell me. He'll tell the lady or the girl absolutely anything she wants to hear, or he thinks that she wants to hear, just to get inside her knickers. And there's anyone that says anything is talking pure bullshit.
Because you've told some whoppers.
I've some shit I've talked over the years. You wouldn't believe it. I get flashbacks at night. I wake myself up. Oh my God! Did I actually say that?
Because in fact, this is a compliment to you.
You soft.
You love soft chat.
I love.
You love
chat.
it.
But I get hammered by it. I'm a real, true romantic. I'm a really patriotic, romantic, shite talking man. Pure shit. But I believe. The thing is.
You believe
it.
You believe in the absolute wallop you're talking.
I do. I believe it. So it's not really wallop if I believe it.
It is a little bit of wallop now, to be honest.
Yeah. Well, sometimes I look back and think to myself, "Jeez, that was soft. That was shite."
Yeah, it was. Yeah. And sometimes I don't know why. Yeah. Sometimes I can see you across the way from me many a times over the years, and I don't know what you're saying, but I see the face on you, and I know it's complete and utter shite.
Just anything,
any
keep
rubbish
the chat going.
Yeah.
Baffle them with bullshit.
Yeah, this is it.
What is the saying? If you can't dazzle them with brilliance, baffle them with bullshit. That's it. The political process is alienating for people, though, isn't it?
Yeah. But Joe, I think people are. One thing I definitely think is that people are more attracted to echo chamber thinking. I think people get into groups, or and they like hearing what they like.
Yeah.
So they that's regurgitate all the stuff.
That's like the young fella telling the girl what she wants to hear. She's gonna lap that up.
Yeah.
All night long. Lionel Messi job. All night long. because that's what she likes to hear, and he's figured out what he knows the buzzwords, what to say. It's the same with these groups.
Yeah.
And that's what's happening. It's the same with YouTube. When you're watching something, you'll keep getting fed the juicy bits that YouTube knows that will come back. You'll keep coming back for.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing. So you have to critically think. You have to have some balance, and you have to think to yourself,
you also have to be willing
hold on a second. Question everything, even yourself.
Yeah, especially yourself. But
speaking, we might as well tell this story. Questioning yourself. Friday evening.
Oh yeah,
Friday evening. This is like a complete curveball. For some strange reason, we were sent. Well, I know the reason we were sent them. we were sent
a care package,
edibles from America, right? Edibles, and I don't know if anyone has ever.
Big thank you to Mick for sending them over.
Big massive thank you. And for some strange reason, I haven't taken them since Arizona, when I was in the States, and I was at some crack for 4 or 5 days over there with them. So I took a full one. Now you would warn me that they're strong.
So I tell you, this is how. So about 2 weeks ago, I was toking on this little vape pen, getting a nice little buzz on. I was working away. It was like 10 o'clock at night. I was like, do you know what would be grand now? A lovely little, an edible just might send me to sleep. Might be perfect. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So if I take it now, it'll kick in around 12, sleep for the rest of the night, go. I spent the night, I was like in this weird netherworld.
Right.
And I was like, I woke up in the morning, right? And I went to get out of bed, and I was like, oh God, my legs won't work.
Yeah.
I was still stoned from the night before.
Yeah.
I had no sleep.
Yeah.
And I was like, they're
but you were content.
I was. It went on a bit long, but I was like, oh well, I won't.
It did go on a bit long, but anyways. So you told me about this, and you warned me, and I was like, do you know what? I was walloping them into me over in Arizona. I had the best of time. I said it couldn't be that strong, so I didn't wait for you. I popped one in. You said a full one is strong. That was fine, and nothing happened for about a half an hour, and then it hit. And the first half hour, it was absolutely class. I was getting a lovely buzz off it. We went for a game of pool. We had 1 pint.
Yeah, 1 or 2 pints.
And then it was like, after about an hour, it was like I had 20 pints just hit in one go. But in a lovely way. Like I knew I felt like I wasn't corpus mentis at all. But I recorded myself, and you're kind of aware. You're aware of what's happening, but you're also, it's like you're looking down upon yourself.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful feeling. Time goes so slowly. Chilled. I mean, you think that an hour has passed, you look down at your watch.
5 minutes.
Not even
2 minutes.
Not even. Maybe 2 minutes. It must be great to be always on them, because you feel like you live for fucking ever.
We were on a serious buzz.
I took half. Then I went up to vote.
Yeah, we went up and we voted. And I'll be honest, by the time I was in that booth, I was fucked. And I was trying to figure out the 27 candidates that were in front of me. I had to concentrate.
And the thing is, because time slows on these things, I thought I was in the booth for
ages,
for like hours.
Yeah,
hours. But I was only in there for like the normal length of time.
Yeah.
You start watching something and suddenly you have it all watched, but you think you've been there for hours, and it's probably only 2 minutes long.
Yeah.
But it was a beautiful feeling. And then you get little notions of brilliance. The only thing is, some of the best stuff has came out with people on these. The only thing is to get it recorded, to get it down, because you will forget.
Oh, stop. And the stuff that you write down mightn't make perfect sense.
Mightn't make perfect sense, but it makes sense in your head at the time. And it's like watching something in panoramic 8K video. But you're looking down on yourself.
We walked all the way around town.
We did. We were walking for ages.
Took us forever.
But the thing is, you're not going to do anything daft on these. Like, you're not going to do something stupid.
They were Sophie. They were HHC.
They just give you this
edibles.
lovely feeling.
It's a cannabinoid.
Yeah, but like we don't do them often, but like forget about doing anything for the rest of the day when you're on them. It's a waste
even
of time.
the next morning.
You don't even have the motivation.
No.
And the whole world could fall down around you and you wouldn't really
give a
care.
shite.
Yeah. So it's a great little chill out. It's a great
I tell you this
escapism.
Much. It's definitely it'll be definitely an election that we'll remember.
Oh yeah. 100%.
We'll definitely remember voting in this election because I was off me fucking tree.
I made sure, like, you know everything. You know what's happening. So I even took a picture of who I voted for, just for my own sake, so that I knew I didn't fuck it up. So there's a couple of other comments here, and
then we had a nap in the office.
Yeah, and then I went up and had a nap in the office. Now. Nap in the office. I did know to get all my bits done for Friday in case it did go like that.
Yeah.
So, and even Saturday morning, you're kind of chilled out a little bit.
Yeah.
But it eventually wears off. What drugs are we talking about?
The HHC.
Yeah, HHC. It's like THC. It's a bit like I've been on mushrooms, kind of a little bit.
Yeah.
So there's no real come down off them. Anyway, James Curley says, how are the boys doing tonight? Doing great, James. What is the topic of tonight?
Doing elections on drugs.
Well, we firstly started talking about the run that I'm going to do in September. You can watch that back. Then we talked a little bit about the live shows, and then we got into the elections, as you can imagine, is a hot topic for us at the minute. And myself and Chris are starting to agree on certain things. We're starting to meet a middle ground. We haven't had a proper argument.
But that's what these things are about.
But it is kind of.
Yeah.
And if the government got on and trashed out things like we have, now I'm sure we'll argue in the future about certain things. But this is how, and you come to some sort of compromise. And if anything, if you watch these particular podcast or live streams that we're doing, you'll notice where we've started and where we're meeting in the middle ground. Now, as I said, I'm sure there's things that we'll probably argue about in the future, but at the minute, we're finding a balance. What we need is Morris to come back up from the long acre.
Yeah, but like at the same time, the whole point of it is about being respectful and listening and engaging with, and
be able to have an argument and then walk away. And
in fairness, myself and Morris got on fine all day. We go and we had thrashed some stuff out, but like sometimes it can be insulting, and it can be like people shouting over each other, and it's not very respectful, that type of stuff. Yeah. And what we found is that it's actually not very good for your own little bit of mental health. It's great for the views. The views fucking
were,
do
like,
unreal.
The more argument we're doing, it was like you were responding to the argument.
Yeah, and that
arguments.
But I don't like.
It's like people were texting, "Get on this fucking live chat."
Yeah,
things are about to kick off.
Whereas, that was a bit tough, like. But yeah,
but that's it. I mean, it's about finding a balance. It's about finding a common ground between all the differences. And like I said, there'll be differences in the future, and there has been in the past, and that's what makes the world go round. Rachel, how many recounts allowed to do you know? Swinford going for the second recount. I don't know, Rachel. I think one of them has to concede.
I think so, yeah. Like,
actually,
I think the second recount was the same as the first.
It was the exact same.
Yeah, which is
actually a good thing to know that your votes are being counted correctly.
Yeah. So Adrian Forkin seems to be clear, and John Caulfield seems to be through. So it's between, if there's a discrepancy between John Sheehan and Neil Cruz.
Yeah. Personally, I hope John gets in. He's a Swinford man, and I know him. And
yeah, he sounds good.
Yeah, he's a good lad. Sinn Féin as well, which I would be more Sinn Féin than I would be Fianna Fáil, but like I said, at the minute they've kind of dropped the ball a bit. James,
but that might be they might needed this result to recorrect themselves to push Fianna Fáil and Fine Gael out at the next general election. Mm-hmm. This kick in the hole that they've gotten.
Mm-hmm.
might be the
100%.
thing that rallies them around.
100%. And I put it to you this way: any supporters that didn't go out and support them, you can be guaranteed that they're not going to let that happen the second time.
Well,
So this might be the best. It's a bit like losing a challenge match or a National League match before the championship. It gives you that kick in the hole to do better.
what about this? Could Pierce Doherty be waiting in the wings to take up the reins as the leader?
Oh, 100%. But she's not going to go down
Without
quietly.
fight? No.
No. But I actually like Pierce. He's a great speaker.
He's a brilliant politician.
Brilliant politician, yeah.
Like, you could see him being the leader of the country.
Yes, you could.
You know,
I've seen a comment coming in now, and I was a big fan of Mary Lou McDonald.
Yeah.
I was a very big fan of her back in the day.
Oh.
Hey,
Oh.
she done that. She had that little. She was my like crush or little like.
She was your crush.
How do you say it? Like I had a bit of a crush on her.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a big crush on her. But she just completely lost her way over the last couple of years. I don't know what it is. What got into her?
Look,
Pierce Doherty,
she's
I could definitely see him leading the country. And the comment that I was about to say that I watched or read was that the only thing Sinn Féin have to offer now is giving Ireland their first female leader, which I thought was a bit of a kick in the balls, really. You like Mary Lou McDonald doesn't have balls, but you know, if that's all they have to offer, which I don't think
that's
they do,
it. Like that's not good enough. That's not good enough.
No,
that's not good.
enough.
That's not going to get you. That's not going to get you to the summit. Like
no.
Well, you need really strong policies.
You do, and a strong politicians. And she was one. The thing is, she was one, but she seems to have weakened. Whatever has happened, there might be something in her personal life.
One thing they've definitely done. They've definitely kind of aligned better their policies that they go forward with in the North and the Republic.
Yeah.
They've kind of aligned on things better. They seem to be a far more unified party that way.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. She could well go.
She could, and it might. Do you know what?
Might
it might
be
be
a
the
bad
best
thing.
thing. It
Yeah.
might be the best thing, and I do believe that Pierce Doherty would take over. Let's get through a couple of these messages, and then we'll have one last topic. We'll come off the election topics, and we'll finish off with something trivial and like a bit of crack. James Curley, your chats and points of view, looking at things from a different angle, is why I tune in, and as much as I can to you
Appreciate
guys.
that, James.
Thank you very much, James. That's exactly what we try to do. We just go at things from different angles in just normal people's talk, if that makes sense, and a bit of crack just sprinkled into the mix as well. Colin, to be honest, lads, I still can't get over the fact that we can't field a football team anymore in my local area because all the young men are fecking off to Australia, etc. So these elections won't solve anything. It's very sad, Colin.
Right. I'm telling you, it's
It's
you know
very
what,
sad.
you can actually see the difference in Sweden for the last year or two.
Yeah, and it's a lot of it is the housing crisis,
Yeah, 100%.
accommodation crisis. It's just major.
It is massive.
Major, and the cost of living
And
crisis as well. But the thing about the cost of living crisis is it's expensive all around the world. There's very few countries anymore that aren't expensive.
Yeah.
But at least there's housing there.
But like, this is what happens when you have a political class that are so invested in having properties and lining their own
vulture funds.
pockets.
Someone commented earlier on that it's
Vulture funds. Oh, they'd be
it was a great day
delighted.
for vulture funds. EMC, thank God the elections are over. Just block out the noise. Was a great week for the vulture funds.
They'd be
100%.
delighted. That's exactly what it is.
100%.
Yeah.
Sophie said, "Love conquers all." I'm a great believer in that. I know that you might find that hard to believe, but I am a true romantic to a fault. I let my heart decide things over my head all my life, and sometimes it's worked in my favor, sometimes it hasn't. It certainly didn't do financially in my favor, but anyway, I had a great time. And to quote Frank Sinatra, regrets, I've had a few, but then again, too few to mention.
Okay. But it is something like when you see majority of when you see the rural parishes really struggle, that is a worry. And
it's a massive worry, and especially rural Ireland.
And now Fianna Fáil, Fine Gael are going to be emboldened by saying, "Look at us, we've done it.
I know.
We've got power."
But that's probably a good place to have them. And I don't want to be completely always. If Fianna Fáil and Fine Gael are doing a great job, I'll be the first one to say it. I'll be the first one to say they're doing a great job on that. I'm not a complete, I just want the best for the country and the people in it, whether they be Irish or foreign. The thing about the immigration thing as well, it's not good for the people that are coming in either, being treated like shit either. That isn't the Ireland that I know. But we're not going to get into immigration at the end of the show. Yeah,
a tent on the canal.
Yeah,
it's actually fucking embarrassing.
It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing for the whole country.
It's a fucking joke.
And as I said many times, that when people are dishevelled and not happy and disgruntled and they're living in shitty accommodation, that's when they lash out and start doing shit like crime-wise. Crime is going to go up because of it. It's just a natural human instinct.
Just before you go to the next comment, I think we've a couple of hundred views at this stage, but only 4 likes. So if you could like the video, that would be really cool.
That would be great. You can do it post-video. 2 honest lads stick down over the fight. Yeah. So if you love conquers all, 100%. Do you think Mary Lou goes? She might have no choice, but I don't think so. I don't think so yet.
I think if I think she'll wait until the general election, and on the back of that, she could be gone.
Okay. Unless she does very well.
If she does very well, then she's got a mandate to try and form a government.
You never know. It might just turn around. A week is a long time in politics, as the saying goes. Colin said Joan Burton.
No,
Joan
Colin,
Burton for me,
it
cowboy,
can't
but
be.
that's more of a Dom thing. You're a sick man, Colin.
You are a sick man.
Very,
she
very,
wasn't great.
But when I looked down at that first, I thought I seen John Bruton. So that's definitely a better than John Bruton.
I don't know. It's not much better.
Well, it's not much better. You're
John
right.
Bruton was.
Yeah, he had a sexy look.
Yeah,
his eye.
he had a little old twinkle in the eye.
You could grab his 2 ears from behind.
Yeah.
Oh, that's going way
now
too
you
far.
went really gay with it. That's the gayest thing I've heard you say.
Right, okay, we're going to go off the politics, and the last bit of chat we're going to have is this attack that Conor McGregor has.
Do you know what? The Guinness community page has been ridiculous.
It's insane. The Guinness community page that I got banned from commenting on because I made a joke about Leo Varadkar farting into a pint glass. But anyway, it's funny to see because people are responding to him as if he's the one that's typing. I highly doubt if he's typing this particular stuff. You don't know.
You don't know. He's a strange cat.
I know the pages that he's on properly, and I think this is like a fan page. But yes, he's playing up to it.
It was from his official page that was commenting on the Guinness community. 100%.
I don't think they all were. There's a
not
Conor
all
McGregor,
of them.
There's a Conor McGregor page, and then there's a Conor McGregor Notorious page. I know that one of his official things went in, but apart from the Guinness community page, he's attacking Arthur Guinness and the fact that he was a Protestant, and the fact that he funded the UFC. The UFC.
Early, it was UFC number 7.
He was dead. Yeah.
And George Washington was fighting Christopher Columbus.
Yeah. Don't believe everything you read on the internet. Abraham Lincoln. So yeah, he's attacked and that is true. The more you read about Arthur Guinness, he was a bit of a fucking prick.
Yeah.
And
if can I just say, all of those hereditary families that were here for generations and generations and were landlords after landlords, they're generally pricks.
Yeah. And especially the anti-Irish ones. Like another Irish man who was very anti-Irish was one of my, and for me to say this is he must have been a good man, is Arthur Wellesley, who went on to become the Duke of Wellington.
Yeah.
I just love his story. I love his ethos. I love his mentality. I'd love to have that discipline that I lack badly on life. He was very disciplined. He got done some great things. A great tactical mind. Put in the pre-work before the work was done, so to speak. But anyway, that's for a different podcast. So yeah, he's had this attack on Arthur Guinness, and it's
so self-serving.
Yeah, it's so self-serving.
It's not for I'm gonna educate you on why Arthur Guinness is a bit of a dickhead.
Some of the language he's using, I just cannot believe that it's Conor McGregor. I nearly know the 2 or 3 lads that to be running his
socials.
His socials.
Yeah.
And this is how they talk.
Yeah, and to be honest,
the words that they use.
Sure, it's porterhouse plain in a can.
Yeah,
that's all it is.
Yeah, and listen, it's a
good beer.
It's a good beer. It's a good creamy pint. Guinness is a good creamy pint. Obviously, it's the standard bearer. Yeah, it's the one that everyone marks off. If you're down around Wexford, try out Brennan's Irish Stout. That's as good as Guinness, or as close to Guinness as you're ever going to get.
It's embarrassing. I know he's built on shameless promotion, but it's fucking embarrassing.
But it's working.
And I think the reason that he cancelled that press conference, because they sold fuck all tickets.
I think so too.
Yeah, I don't think he has the base of support in Ireland that he did 5 years ago. They put tickets on sale.
I believe that
expected to sell it out and do a big thing in Ireland again. And the UFC don't realise he's not even close to being popular anymore. People generally don't like him.
He's probably big. He's probably more popular in America.
Way
now,
more
I
popular.
admire him. I admire whatever he says.
He's a great fighter.
Great fighter, and I think he's. You have to admire what he's done.
100%.
And you have to admire what he's achieved.
I love combat sports.
Yeah.
And him as a fighter, coming from Ireland, amazing story.
Yeah. Yeah.
But he doesn't help himself. And this.
No, I know that.
And to be honest, the last couple of years, there's been a steady decline.
Yeah.
He's not fighting as often.
He's not fighting at all.
He hasn't been fighting at all. And now he has serious injuries.
I do hope for his sake and Ireland's sake, not so much Ireland's sake. I hope he does go back to have one more fight.
Well, he's fighting in the next couple of weeks against Michael Chandler.
And I do believe that a lot of that is put on as well. I have met him. I do believe that a lot of that, drinking and getting.
Yeah, I think it's easy to post that up.
It's easy to post that
and
up.
Try and distract.
Yeah.
The other side a bit.
It's also easy. It's also easy to take a picture of yourself in the pub with a pint in your hand. It's also easy to fake drinking.
It's easy. It's easy to have a photo there for weeks and not post it up and then put it up.
Post it up. So social media. Don't believe everything on social media. I don't have to tell anyone that. But it is funny to watch the Guinness community group being taken over by, and what's happening is people then are
posting up posting up photos looking for a response from them.
Yeah. 100%.
It's hilarious. But I think he definitely put up one or two of those posts. I don't think he put up all of them.
No, I don't think he put up all of them. He probably put up a couple of them. But yeah, it's very funny.
He's a wild character.
Wild card. No one else would even do that particular type of promoting, but it's enjoyable all the same to a certain degree. Colin, another note: have you watched Jeremy Clarkson's Farm yet? So good. No, I haven't, but I actually so another good. Character that I have to admire and like. I was never a huge Clarkson fan. Yeah, but he's a prick, he's a lovable prick. But I really like Clarkson's Farm, and I like him on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. It's a classic TV show. Yep. I think he's good at. I preferred Chris Tarrant on that. So do I, but Chris Tarrant isn't going to do it anymore, and I think he's actually quite good on it. Very good. EMC McGregor would write in no bother with him, happy him with his poppy on too. Him with his poppy on too. Did he have a poppy on? I don't know. I'd be surprised. Poppy. EMC. Tickets were gone in 5 minutes. Oh, okay. So tickets were gone in 5 minutes. Tickets for the fight. For the fight.
I doubt the press conference they had in Dublin was gone in 5 minutes.
Okay.
Cancelled because he probably
wants a piece of 20 million gate. I'm sure.
Yeah, well, he gets percentage points on that.
I'm sure he gets a percentage of it anyway.
Oh, he's guaranteed. Like,
so, at the end of the day, I want him to be this phoenix that rises from the ashes and actually comes good.
Well, yeah,
but that's that old romantic patriotism coming out of me.
But like, I really enjoyed some of his early fights and the fights from years ago. Myself and Martin and Tordoff.
Yeah.
We met him in Lily Bordello's after Republic of Telly. Back after his first fight against Marcus Brimage in Sweden. And we met the whole gang in there in Lily's. We had a fucking great old tear up. Really, really good old piss up.
Yeah.
But that was after his first fight.
Yeah.
He was only on the rise.
Yeah. I remember that. I think Martin tells a story about that, or used to anyway, in his live show.
Well, we had a fucking mental night out that night. I got a text message from my landlady in the morning saying that she wanted me out of the house.
Oh, all right, fair enough.
You know, quiet night that we had. Luckily I had gone to bed at some stage, so I had plausible deniability about the rest of it.
Lovely.
James Curdy goes, I met Conor McGregor in Antrim Town in the Orange Order Workmen's Club Social Club at an MMA fight night. He was about 18, fanatical about MMA and going crazy at the ref. He wasn't fighting. So that was in his
I seen him getting heated.
Cage
I seen him getting
fight.
heated at someone else's he went on to congratulate some other Irish fighter, and the referee tried to take him down, or someone tried to take him down, and he lost his shit.
Well, he jumped
Charlie Ward.
He jumped he's Welsh.
Huh?
Charlie Ward. He's Welsh.
Is he Welsh?
Yeah, I think he's Welsh. Check that.
Well, it doesn't matter where he's from. He was his mate anyway. What was he doing in the Orange Order? Oh, that was where the fight
was. Yeah.
EMCC press conference was sold out online. Yeah, I figured it was, but then I thought, why cancel it? And I thought the only logical explanation, because I don't believe that he was, as people said, coked up the night before or loaded the night before. I don't believe.
Oh no, he's from Mamillick.
He's that stupid.
Charlie Ward's from Mamillick.
I met him up at one of the Cage Legacy fights.
Very good.
Big lad. Corner man of a friend of mine. Corner man for a friend of mine. Who's that, James? Oh, he was the corner man.
Very good.
Very good. So I hope he fights. I hope that he quietens the people that doubt him in a fighting sense of the word, and like anything that has Irish with it, I'm gonna put in.
You're
gonna put in.
I'm putting in the poll.
Okay. Is that for
Will McGregor fight
post video when it goes up?
It'll still be there. Yeah.
Very good. So let us know what you think. Will Conor McGregor fight again?
He's supposed to fight Michael Chandler.
Yeah.
So tell us,
is it the right fight?
Yeah, Michael Chandler is a good fighter, but he's not the best in the division. Makhachev.
If he wins, will he fight again?
Hard to know. I can't see. I think he could try and go for the welterweight title and have 3 titles. First fighter to win 3 titles. Yeah. This fight is at welterweight anyway.
Okay.
So it means that he doesn't have to cut weight. I don't think he's, apart from when he fought Donald Cerrone, I don't think he's ever looked his best at welterweight.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe him just being naturally bigger now after being a couple of years out might just be more natural there. So
anyways, or either way, we will have to let time decide whether he fights again and whether he wins or not. So that is it for tonight. I think we'll wrap it up, Chris.
Yeah,
It's been emotional.
100%.
It's been great chat. Thank you very much for everyone who got into the chat. And there's already people commenting on the Will McGregor fight.
It's on the June 29th as well, so
June
we'll probably
29th.
watch it after.
Oh my God.
That's so handy.
The night of the Galway show. Where will
The big show in Galway.
That is brilliant. We're going to have an after party and then we'll watch the McGregor fight. It'll be class. Get to it. And until the next time we're chatting on the Dead Hedgehogs live stream over here on the YouTube channel. Thank you very much for watching, people. Thank you very much for everyone who interacted and left comments. Thank you very much for everyone who liked the video. Thank you very much to everyone who has subscribed to the channel.
We really appreciate you.
Until the next time, stay safe, stay healthy.
And stay away from yourself.
Good night.